Hey, welcome to Rust Revival Garage. I've got a new guest in the garage. One that I do not want to be here, but that's how it works. Let's get to it. So I took the Jeep out for a drive. Sure enough, I had no brakes again. A couple of videos ago, I replaced the rear brake lines. They were just leaking like crazy, rusted out. Got them fixed, everything was fine. Sure enough, driveway has a huge brake fluid spill. I guess that gave some strength to the back and it made something in the front give way. So let's take a look. Yep, all the fluid is gone. Does not appear to be leaking from the master or the lines running down here, although they don't look great. God darn it, I'm gonna have to replace all these brake lines, aren't I? But you can see they drop down here. They're all rather crunchy. Oh yeah, nothing like laying in the wet, melting snow. All right, this is very wet. Maybe it's just one. But again, all of these look so rusty. Great. I'm going to check the other side. This line, nice and dry. But maybe I'll just do the two front lines and take it from there. I just don't want to do an entire brake line. It's like $200 for all of the lines. Got the Jeep jacked up. Gonna get the wheel off. See if I can get a better look at that brake line. Snow and ice everywhere. It's all wet up through there. That's not snow and ice. It's not down here. That connection seems pretty good, but I think it might be all one piece. Oh, this is the hose and it goes to the line. I think that is my problem right there. So I figured out which one is the bad line. It's this middle one. Got these little clamps off. There's a clamp that goes around these three, and then the clamp that goes around these three. I just used a screwdriver, flathead, just pry it off. It comes up and it connects here. So this is my front driver's side brake line. Sprayed it with the WD-40, Croil or whatever, and hopefully I can get that loosened up and off. I will probably buy both of the front ones. The problem is the front one goes down, around, across the frame, all the way back, and then up again to the brake line. That is one long brake line. Managed to break it loose with just a regular wrench. It's a 9/16 in case you're wondering. Got the other front one loose. All right, I've just taken the master off. I'm going to do the master cylinder and probably the brake lines. I can't get that one off. Got 3 of the 4 off. Problem solved the hard way. So I think I'm just going to do a whole new proportioning valve. See if I can get this brake light off with one hand. Probably not. But got to do new lines anyway. The only trick is I've got to be able to get this rear one off. Managed to get the back one off. Had to cut that one. That was it. But the proportioning valve is off. Probably need to save that bracket. But new brake lines, new front brake lines, new master, new proportioning valve. Yay, the expenses are adding up. All right, starting to finally warm up here in Ohio. Back on the brakes. Got a brake line kit Hopefully it's everything I need. Also got a tube bender, and this should be my new master cylinder. One thing I discovered, you do not want to break your proportioning valve because apparently you can't buy those. So I'm gonna have to make sure I reuse this, get it cleaned up a little bit, get these lines off. The kit does come with these little small lines, but yay. I've got this side jacked up. One of the things I think I might want to do is remove this sort of plastic cover, because you can see the brake line goes up in here, comes over here, shoots down the front of the frame. Might want to remove at least the bolts holding the sway bar here, because it kind of feeds right under it. Hopefully I can remove it without tearing it up too much. Because what I want to do is, this is a 3/8 inch line, and I want to break that so I can actually keep using the rubber line. I think the rubber lines are fine. They're not that in bad of shape. They're still smooth and not hard. So there we go. Alright, got that one. I'm just using this tool. I don't even remember what it was from. Maybe, I think it was the trim tool for the windshield for the Le Mans. Alright, I got it started. Actually was going to take this clip out that holds the line right about there. Whole clip came out, but I think it might be okay. And there's another clip right there. Alright, that one didn't come out. And my frame is just rusting away. Alright, so I've got that clip out. Yep, that one came out. Here's another one. That one broke. There's probably one on the frame over here. Yeah, this stuff is just in the way. But yeah, look how bad that brake line is. Alright, let me see if I can get this one off too. There's no good place for leverage. I got one off. Oh well, good enough. Tell you what, getting the brake line off, not hard. It's getting it all back in one piece that's going to be a pain. All three of the lines had these little clips on them. So I just popped those off, but they go together to clamp the lines down. Looking closely at it on the driver's side, look at this. Yep, that's the one that failed, the front. Alright. So yeah, I mean, look at this. Getting it out. I could cut it, but I'm going to have to feed it down, around, over, and in. It's like three sides of a rectangle, and it's got to go around all this crap. I'm wondering if it might be best to come in from the front. Never done this before, so not sure. What if we go up and over? Alright, so I went up and over the shock. Yeah, maybe if I remove this, I can bring it up and it will be out of the way. got the front one out. Can't get the back one out. I think it might be stripped in some way. It just pops and it's not loosening. Same with that side. So I've got to do this without moving this, which is fun. The winch off. Good job, son. Where's the winch wired up? So very good to know my winch wasn't even connected. But this gives me, hopefully, a little room to maneuver in. All right, got that one out. My concern is this is the replacement. Glad I got the bender because this is bent, like purposely bent in order to be shipped. It's got little marks that say bend here. Oh joy. But I wonder if that'll make it somewhat easier to get it in. I doubt it, because there's a lot of bend here, bend here, bend here. Oh my God. Why did I do this? Does anyone want to buy a Jeep? I've been thinking about it. I think I'm going to have to try to feed it in from the driver's side. I've actually watched a couple of YouTube videos. Nobody really shows how to do this, so I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get it done. Not sure how much I can show. May have to speed it up, that kind of thing, but yeah. Got my tape on there, and my biggest problem is I'm going to have to go behind the sway bar. So I think I'm going to see if I can just feed this up in through, and then hopefully once I've got it all in place, I'll be able to lift it, the side that's over here, I'll be able to lift it up over the shock. This is going to be so stupid. The tricky thing is it's got to be under this stopper. And then I can maybe bend this up. Got to get it to come back to here where this clip is. And it's got to be inside. And I've got to get this side also under the stopper. And then this has got to come down to here. All right, I'm going to play around with it a bit. At least you can kind of see that I've got it started and it's in, but a lot of finagling, as they used to say. All right, I had to take it back out. What I really want to do is feed this end behind this stopper, because then I'll also be behind these light wires. So I pretty much just want to feed that in, then slide it back down in, because there is a clip for the brake line right there. And it's on the inside of the stopper. The stopper is there, I'm assuming, to keep the body off of the frame. But yeah, I need to get through that hole. All right, so I've got it in. just need to move it over a little bit. All right, so I've got it lined up with that clip, got it in, and I'm down here. Not gonna try to connect just yet until I have everything lined up. I've got this in here. This side is good to go. Now I just need to bend this and then slide it so that it goes straight up. All right, after some work, I got this one up. I had to sort of tear this out, so I'm going to probably have to get some new clips. So before I tear up any more of this rubber piece, there's only one company that makes these things, and I don't want to do any more damage. So what I did was I picked up a clip tool, which supposedly is for these clips. I picked up some more clips, and they don't sell these brake line brackets really. So Dorman has sort of like a universal one. Hopefully that will still fit in the holes, but then that allows me to give something, my brake line something to attach to. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can use this to get these off if I need to, and like I said, get these brackets replaced if I have to. The other thing I always have trouble with is metal lines into their fittings, and I'm going to see if I can take this off. That allows me to move it and line it up better with this, so I don't end up having to try to get this perfectly lined up. So it's a Torx, it looks like, and it doesn't look like it's going to want to come out very easily, but we'll see. Just for fun, I wiggled it around, kept wiggling as I started threading it, and it's going in pretty smooth, so I'm not going to have to take that off. But if you do need to take yours off, that's a Torx 40. And these new lines are not 3/8, they are 7/16. All right, that's pretty tight. So that side is done. Tried to put one of the new little brackets in here, but it's actually, the Jeep's jacked up so high I don't fit. But I do have one of the new ones here. The old one still works here. This one's still good. All right. I'm going to call the passenger side done. To be honest, doing this size, it really kind of freaked me out because it's so big, so crazy and intricate to get it in here. But I did it first because I wanted to do the hardest one first. Now let's jump over to the driver's side. All right, this is my front driver's side. And so that will be right about here. And you can see it matches up with these other pieces that I can put the little collard on, so I can get it to sit right there. Nope. But it's coming down here. Oh, I need to get the old one out. All right, got that one. I've got the Croyle, and that stuff just works amazingly well. I've been pretty lucky on all of my connections, and I would highly recommend it. Okay, got that started. We're good to go on the front brake line on the driver's side. Turns out this brake hose is stripped. I must have done something wrong, but I've used a thing to try to get rethreaded, and it's just gone. Problem is I can't get the bolt off, the Torx bolt off on this side to remove the hose. I've tried everything. I've just about stripped it out. I think I'm going to try to wire wheel it, see if I can cut a groove in there, and then use that sort of like as a flathead screwdriver to get it out. so I just cut it off. So that's my brake line. I just got to get a new one of those and drill a new hole. All right, so the last of the brake line is the rear line. This one comes down here, it looks like. Gosh, yeah, look how rusty that one is. It goes under here, and it comes back to this junction right there. Now, there is a rubber hose that goes to this back piece. If you happen to be following along with this, I do have a different video where I did install the rear brake lines. So this will stay. This rubber hose doesn't look great, but it's not super hard. So I'm going to see if I can break it loose here and take it all the way back over to here. This is that section. So it looks like I've got some bending to do to straighten it out. Yeah, so this is the top section that will go into the proportioning valve. There's that little bend where all those clips come together. And it looks like this may be the only bend. Now, I didn't show it in the last passenger side one, but it does come with this sort of bendy plastic piece that you put around the metal and then use that to slide it through, and it keeps it from kinking, I guess. I was able to get the other one unbent with this, and I'll try to show it here just so you can see if I mess it up or not. So the one half goes on. The other half goes just above it. And then it's supposed to slide down easily. So there, it gives me sort of like a handle. And then there you go. It's sort of just like I said, just pull it through until it straightens it out, and then this piece keeps it from kinking, I guess. But this is the end that's going to hook up then to that back hose that I showed. All right, so I've got it off of its little brackets, and it's fairly loose now. All right, see if I can get that 3/8 broken loose. All right, so I've got that loose. I've got it off all the brackets. Hopefully I don't strip this one too. All right, that's free. See if I can squeeze this one out of here. Getting the new one in is not going to be fun. Seeing if I can take it out the back. Yep. Not sure how much of that you could see, but because that piece goes up in the front, I figured I would start to come back and then turn it so it could slide by underneath the body and above the transmission and the skid plate. And I turned it sideways, brought it straight back out. And I got it all out in one piece without bending it. So I'm going to try to put it in the same way because I really don't want to take that flex plate off. Oh. Gonna be quite the puzzle. All right, it is in. Just need to get it up in there so that it can set on the frame and hook into the clips. Okay, I got that one attached, got it back in the track, and it's a little too long now from where it's sitting to go into this one, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, my final two brake lines are going to go into the master to the proportioning valve. That's these two here. This one is a bigger diameter than this one, I believe. I'm not going to put it together in this video. I've run out of time and I'm still waiting for my hose to come, but that's coming up next for me. I'm going to go ahead and attach all my brake lines to the proportioning valve. Again, it's easier to move it when it's not attached to something. If I had it all hooked up, trying to get the lines to fit in there, I'd strip them out. So I'm going to keep this flexible and get all the lines attached. Then I will attach these, and then I will put this on and attach those here. So that's pretty much the plan. I need to get this brake fluid off my paint. But yeah. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. Just the brake lines. I'll finish up in the next one. This should apply if you're doing something similar, if you found this video, because you're doing your Jeep brake lines. It should be any TJ from, I think, 97 to 2006. They were pretty much similar, I think. But this is my first time doing it, and other than the passenger side, it wasn't quite as crazy as I thought it was going to be. So yeah, that's the first time ever doing this. So mission accomplished. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you got anything out of it, give me a like. Leave me a comment down below if I got something wrong or if you have questions. And subscribe if you can. I'd appreciate it. Always doing stuff on my Jeep, unfortunately. I'd rather be on my 68 Le Mans or my 85 square body. But subscribe if you can. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will catch you next time.